Hello dear students of class 11 science, welcome to EVS class. We are dealing with the chapter pollution. In the last class we have learned about the air pollutions, we have learned about greenhouse gases, greenhouse effect, global warming, and the control measures or the preventive measures to control the air pollutions, right? So today we'll begin with the next pollutions, that is called the industrial pollutions, because industries used to act one of the point sources for the entry of pollutant into the air, which causes air pollutions. Clear? So industries used to give out a large amount of gaseous pollutants and the particulate pollutants. Okay, and these pollutants used to pollute the air. So before these pollutants are released into the air from the industries, they needs to be removed. Okay, those pollutants, the gaseous pollutants and the particulate pollutants, needs to be removed from the air before being released into the environment, or else it will bring air pollutions. Okay, so both the type of pollutants, the gaseous pollutants, the particulate pollutants, are harmful, but the particulate ones which are present in the air are very harmful. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the few methods by which we are going to control the emission of those pollutants into the air. Okay. So the first method that we are going to discuss is called the cyclone collector or the cyclone separator. Okay, we used to call it cyclone collector or cyclone separator. So you can see in the figure the diagram of a cyclone collector. Okay, so these cyclone collectors, it works on the principle of centrifugal force. Clear? So cyclone collector, it works on the principle of centrifugal force, because each and every devices which are being designed to control the emission of the harmful pollutants are based on certain principles. So the cyclone collector is based on the principle of centrifugal force, and they are mainly used to remove the large particulate matter present in the air. Right, so rotational effects and the gravity are used to separate out the mixtures of solids and fluids. So before going into the working principle, let us see the diagram of cyclone collector or the cyclone separator. It is mainly composed of a cylinder. So you can see over here is mentioned cylinder over here. Okay, so this particular structure is called the cylinder. Clear? This is the collector portion of the dust particles or particulate matter. This is the inlet from where the air with high velocity enters inside the cylinder, and this is the outlet from where the air free from the large particulate matter will be released. Okay, so we have got the inlet, we have got the outlet, we have got the cylinder, and we have got the collector. Okay, so now what happens is that through the inlet, it's also called the tangential inlet, the air containing the particulate matter of higher size, let's say of higher size, will enter into the cyclone collector. So as we mentioned that rotational effects and gravity are used to separate out the mixture of solids and fluids. So through the inlet, the air containing the particulate matter will enter inside the cylinder. Okay, and over there, due to the rotational effect, since the air are in high velocity, so there will be a rotational effect, and those rotational effects and the gravity will be used to separate out the particulate matter from the air. So we can say there will be the separation of particulate matter from the mixture of solids and liquids or fluids. Okay, so let's talk about the principles. So the dirty air is blasted into the cylinder. So through the inlet, the air containing the particulate matter will enter inside the cylinder. Clear? Now, a violent swirl is created, means the air with higher velocity will move inside the cylinder. Can you see the cone-like structure? That's mainly cylinder. Okay, so air with high velocity is created within the cone, and therefore since the air with high velocity move inside the cone, you can see even the movement of the air over here, the directions. Can you see over here the direction of the movement of the air? So within the cone or within the cylinder, the air will move with higher velocity. Okay, within the cylinder, within the cone, the air will move with higher velocity, and since the air will move with higher velocity, the particulate matter which are present in the air will also move through the wall of the cylinder. Listen very carefully. The particulate matter which are of higher size will also move through the air through the wall of the cylinder of the cyclone collector. So in the air high velocity, it moves rapidly, and when the air are moving at the higher velocity, simultaneously the particulate matter of higher size which are present in the air will also move through the wall of the cyclone collector through the cylinder. Clear? And when the velocity of the air keeps on decreasing, alright, when the velocity of the air slowly becomes like when it keeps on decreasing, at that time those particulate matter, okay, which are moving through the cone or through the cylinder will fall to the bottom of the cone from where it is collected. That means over here. So over here in this cone, the particulate matter will be collected. So what you think is that through the inlet, the air with the particulate matter will enter inside the cylinder of the cyclone collector, and high velocity air will keep on moving inside the cylinder. A high valence solid is created. Okay, that means the air with high velocity will move inside the cylinder, and simultaneously at the same time the particulate matter of higher size will also move through the cylinder of the cyclone collector, and when the velocity of the air keeps on decreasing, the particulate matter will fall down to the bottom of the cone, and from that cone it will be collected, and the air with, let's say, with smaller particulate matter, okay, will flow in a helical manner through the outlet. Okay, so the air flows in a helical pattern before exiting the cyclone in a straight stream through the center of the cyclone and out of the top. So simple. Okay, cyclone collectors are mainly used to remove the particulate matter, the large particulate matter present in the air. It works on the principle of centrifugal force or rotational movement. Okay, so what I mean is that over there is that through the inlet, the air with large particulate matter will enter inside the cyclone collector. Okay, within the cylinder of the cyclone collector, over there a valence shell will be created, air with high velocity will start moving, and at the same time when the air will move, the larger particulate matter present on the air will also start moving through the wall of the cylinder. Okay, smaller particles will move straight through the cyclone or through the cylinder of the cyclone collector. So when the velocity of the air slowly decreases, at the same time those large particulate matter will fall on the bottom of the cone. Okay, and from the cone those large particulate matter will be collected, and the air will flow in a helical manner, in a twisted manner, and it will exit the cyclone collector through the outlet. So in this way the air will be free from the larger particulate matter and will be released out. Okay, so this is one of the method to control the pollutants being emitted from the industries. Now second method is about electrostatic precipitator. Okay, these are mainly used in the industrial areas. Okay, so these electrostatic precipitators remove the particles from the air. It is designed to trap and remove the particulate matter from the exhaust gas stream of an industrial process. So you can see the figure. This is the figure of the electrostatic precipitator. You can see the steam generator, the combustion, and this precipitator is one of the most important part of the electrostatic precipitator, which is mainly functional to clean the dirty air before it is being released into the environment. Okay, so what happens in case of electrostatic precipitator? How does it work? The polluted air is passed through the electrostatic precipitator. The air that contains the particulate matter will pass through the precipitator. Okay, and from there, okay, from the precipitator the particulate matter will be removed and the clean air will be removed out into the atmosphere. So this precipitator, okay, this electrostatic precipitator will give a charge to the dust particles. It easily used to give a beam of corona. Okay, is to give the electrons to the dust particles. The dust particles will be electrically charged. Okay, so this electrostatic precipitator will give the electrical charge to the dust particles, and those charged dust particles are deposited on the plate due to the force of attraction created. So those dust particles which are present in the air that passes through the electrostatic precipitators will be electrically charged. Clear? And those charged dust particles will be collected or will be attracted towards the plates. Plates will be applied over there, and those plates will collect the charged dust particles, and the air will be free from those dirt particles. And when sufficient amount of particulate matter is deposited on the collector or on the collector plate, okay, so those dirt particles will be removed from it. So when there is sufficient amount of particulate matter, then those collector plate will be shaken, and from those plates the dust particles will be removed, and it can be used again for the next process. Simple. Okay, so this precipitator is to give the charge to the dust particles. Now since dust particles bears the charge, it will be attracted toward the collecting plate. Collecting plate will be also electrically charged. Clear? So it will attract the dust particle towards itself. So when the dust particles will be attracted towards the collector plate, the air will be free from the dust particles, and when sufficient amount of dust particles will be collected in the collecting plate, then it will be shaken, and those dust particles will be removed from it, and now it can be used again for the next round of process. So these two processes are mainly used in the industries to mainly control the emission of harmful pollutants to the air, otherwise it will bring air pollutions. Clear? So let's talk about next one, the wet and dry systems. The adsorbent calcium hydroxide slurry is sprayed into the hot gas stream in form of the droplets. Look at the wet and dry streams. The water present in the adsorbent reacts with the acid component of the polluted air. Calcium reacts with sulfur dioxide, and the heat causes the water to evaporate. The end product is a dry powder containing mostly fly ash and the salt. So this method is commonly used in the food processing plant, breweries, pharmaceutical plant, etc. So mainly over here you have to just learn about the working principles of electrostatic precipitator, and this one is very important. Okay, so this paragraph you have to go through it. It is very important. How does this electrostatic precipitators will work, or will mainly control the emission of the harmful particulate pollutants from the air, and mainly they are used in the industries. So to just go through the working principles of the cyclone collectors and the electrostatic precipitators in order to control the emission of harmful gases into the air. Okay, now let's talk about the subsidies and the incentives for the pollution control. Next topic, subsidies and incentive for the pollution control. So first one is green energy. Okay, so green energy is the alternative energy that is completely renewable, which can be used again and again, and totally safe for the environment. Okay, renewable means those energy which can be used again and again, and it's totally safe for the environment. It doesn't cause any harm to the environment when it is being used. So in general, the Indian government wishes to encourage the development of renewable sources of energy. Why? Because those renewable sources of energy can be used again and again, and they are less harmful to the environment. And government of India is mainly encouraging the use of this green energy by the use of incentives and the subsidies. Clear? So India gave incentive for renewable energy in 1990s. It met with considerable success, and India is among the global leaders with respect to the wind energy. So we are the current leaders, okay, in terms of the generation of wind energy, which is the alternative form of energy and renewable form of energy with less impact on the environment. So local and international project developers invested in the country, okay, and they mainly lead by the incentives given to them, because government of India is mainly giving the incentives and the subsidies to mainly promote the use of renewable sources of energy. So government have introduced incentive for the solar and wind power to increase the participation of independent power players. So they are encouraging to make proper use or development of renewable sources of energy. So to encourage the private investors also in this sector, the government has provided many different types of incentives Clear? To promote the use of NCE, non-conventional energy. So that means government are investing in this sector also, so that most of the investors will come into this field and they will promote the use of non-conventional energy, NCE. So this include the accelerated depreciation allowances, capital cost subsidies, interest rate subsidies, reduction or exemption from excise duty, and concession on import of material, component and equipment used in NCE projects. So government is give full support for development of those non-conventional sources of energy. Okay. So apart from the central government, our state governments are also giving certain subsidies, certain incentives to promote the non-conventional energy projects. So what are those steps which taken by the state government regarding the promotions or development of NCE? First one, promotion of supportive manufacturing and servicing unit for NCE project. These are mainly the steps taken by the state government. Okay, because central government and the state government both are coming forward for the promotion or for development of NCE, non-conventional energy projects. So state governments, what they are doing, they are mainly coming forward to promote the NCE projects. So how they are coming forward? So mainly by promotions of supportive manufacturing and servicing units for NCE projects. Number 2, no clearance required for setting up of an NCE industry. So whenever anyone tries to set up the NCE industry, there is no need of clearance. Okay, a 5-year exemption from the tax, soft loans for setting up an NCE industry, custom duty concession for spares and equipment. So these are the steps which have been taken by the state government in order to promote and develop the non-conventional energy. Clear? So we just remember the steps taken up by the central government and the state government. Next one is the green technology, a technology which is considered environmental friendly because it does not hamper or affect the environment. So based on its productions, processes or supply chain. So India is one of the world leaders in promoting the green technology. So the country has used protection measures to nurture the fledgling green technology industries. So the government of India has recently decided to conduct an assessment of the impact of growth on ecology using green accounting system. So can you remember the system name? The green accounting system, which has been recently launched by the government of India. Okay, they have done an assessment test to mainly see the impact of growth on ecology using the green accounting system. So India is planning one of the largest green energy projects of solar and the wind energy. So the products of green technologies are heavily subsidized to compare with the products of brown technology. They are often eligible to tax exemption or tax rebate also. So India has introduced a clean energy fund into its national budget, which provides subsidies for the green technology. So mainly the government of India is mainly trying to promote and develop the use of those non-conventional energies. They are from different type of technologies. Okay, why? In order to mainly control the emission of harmful pollutants from the point and the non-point sources, and in order to control the pollutions. Clear? So this was for today's class. In the next class, we'll talk about green automobiles and the green architectures. Clear? So this was for today. See you in next class. Thank you.